you do not need to go anywhere. Everything that needed doing is already done, or it can wait until morning, and morning is a long, slow way away from here. Right now there is only the dark outside, and the warmth inside, and the particular softness of this hour when the world has finally stopped asking anything of you. Let yourself settle. Feel the weight of your body becoming heavier, sinking just a little further into whatever is holding you. Your shoulders can drop now. Your hands can rest. There is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing that needs holding. Breathe in slowly, all the way down, and then let it go. Let all of it go. The breath carries it away, and the night takes it quietly, and it does not matter anymore. The light in the room where you are lying is very low. Perhaps there is a lamp somewhere behind you, casting its soft circle on the wall. Perhaps there is only the faint glow from a window, where the sky outside is deep blue and very still. Either way, the light is gentle. It is the kind of light that does not ask you to look at anything in particular. It simply rests there, soft and amber and quiet, like a very old friend sitting nearby without needing to speak. Let your eyes close if they are not already. Feel the weight of them. There is something deeply comforting about the darkness behind closed eyes, that warm, soft nowhere that belongs entirely to you. Nothing to see, nothing to read, nothing to follow. Only the slow tide of your breathing, in and out, steady as water, steady as the rain that may be falling somewhere outside, tapping its light fingers against glass, against stone, against the broad, dark leaves of something growing quietly in the garden. Breathe in and out, like water rising in a very still well, like snow settling on a windowsill, like the last page of a long and gentle book being turned in the quiet. There is a library. You arrive there the way you arrive at things in dreams, without walking, without opening a door, simply finding yourself already inside, already comfortable, already exactly where you are supposed to be. It is a very old library. You can feel the age of it in the air, which is cool and a little dusty, and smells of paper and leather and something faintly sweet, like dried flowers pressed between pages long ago. The shelves rise up on every side, very tall, disappearing into a dimness above where the lamplight does not quite reach. The books are very old too. Their spines are faded, deep reds and greens and golds rubbed soft by years of hands, their titles barely legible now, half gone into the leather. The floor is stone, dark stone, worn smooth, in the middle of each aisle where feet have passed, for years and years and years. The rugs laid over it are thick and faded, patterns of leaves and vines, looping slowly over each other in colours that were once very bright and are now the colour of autumn, of old honey, of the inside of a chestnut shell. Your feet make no sound on them. outside. You can hear it against the high windows, which are tall and narrow and very old. Their glass slightly wavy, the way old glass always is, so that the street beyond, if there is a street, is only a soft dark blur, lights moving through it like something underwater. The rain is steady. It has been falling for a long time, and it will continue falling, and it asks nothing of you. It is simply rain, doing what rain does, turning the world outside soft and dark and quiet. There is a fire here too, in a wide stone hearth at the far end of the room, between two shelves that lean slightly toward each other overhead, as though sharing a secret. The fire is not large. It is a small, well-settled fire, orange and steady, with very little smoke, giving off a warmth that you can feel from where you are standing, or perhaps from where you are already sitting, in one of the deep armchairs that face it. The chairs are old leather, cracked and softened with use, the kind of chair that knows the shape of a person at rest. Someone has been reading here recently. There is a book left open on the small table beside the nearest chair, face down to hold the page, a habit that would make a librarian wince, but that seems only human and forgivable in this particular hour. A pair of round glasses rests on the open pages. A cup of something warm sits beside it, sending up a thread of steam so thin it is almost not there. You do not need to read anything tonight. The books are here simply to be near. There is a particular comfort in being surrounded by books you are not required to open, in knowing that all those pages and all those words and all those worlds are simply resting there on their shelves, patient and quiet, waiting for other days. Tonight they are only part of the warmth, only part of the softness of this room. The fire shifts, a small sound, a soft crumbling of embers, a tiny settling, and then it is steady again, burning its low, patient burn. The light it throws on the ceiling moves very slightly, just enough to feel alive, not enough to be anything other than calming. The shadows in the corners of the room are soft shadows. They are the kind that do not move quickly and do not startle you, and are simply part of the room, part of the night, part of the general deep restfulness of this place. Outside the rain continues. Against the windows it makes its gentle sound, a sound that is not quite tapping and not quite rushing, somewhere in between, a sound that the body recognizes as safe. Rain on old glass, rain on stone steps, rain in the dark on sleeping gardens and quiet streets, and the broad backs of leaves that have been waiting all day for exactly this. There is a cat somewhere in the library. You have not seen it, but you can feel the particular quality of its presence, the way the room feels slightly more inhabited, slightly more at ease, the way rooms do when a sleeping animal is somewhere nearby. Perhaps it is on one of the upper shelves, curled among the old books in a patch of warmth from a lamp you cannot see. Perhaps it is somewhere in the deep chair in the corner, entirely invisible beneath its own folded shape. Every so often, you think you can hear it breathing, slow and even, and perfectly content. The breathing of a creature that has arranged its whole body into the ideal position for rest and has absolutely no intention of moving. There is something very comforting about that, about a small warm thing nearby, sleeping without any difficulty at all. The fire makes another small sound. The rain shifts slightly, becomes softer for a moment, as if the sky is drawing a slow breath of its own, and then continues on as before. The thread of steam from the cup on the table has thinned to nothing. The tall windows hold their soft, dark blur. Somewhere out there, beyond the wavy glass, the streets are wet and empty and gleaming with reflected light. The kind of gleaming that only happens in rain. That particular orange and silver sheen on wet cobblestones that makes the world look like a painting of itself. But you are not out there. You are in here, where it is warm and very still, and smells of paper and old wood, and the faint sweetness of a fire that has been burning all evening. There is a staircase at the back of the library. You noticed it earlier, or perhaps you are only noticing it now, which amounts to the same thing. It is a narrow staircase, wooden, the banister worn smooth and dark, the steps slightly uneven in the way of very old stairs that have been climbed so many times they have worn themselves into their own gentle shapes. It spirals upward into the same dimness where the tops of the shelves disappear. You do not need to climb it tonight. You only notice it is there, and that noticing is comforting in the particular way that knowing a door exists is comforting even when you have no intention of opening it. There are other rooms in this old building. Rooms with low ceilings and small windows and narrow beds with thick quilts, where the rain sounds even closer because the roof is just above, and the sound moves through the old tiles like music through an instrument, not loud, but everywhere, surrounding, soft.
Perhaps one of those rooms is already waiting. Perhaps without knowing it, you're already drifting toward it, past the tall shelves and the sleeping cat and the fading fire, up the narrow stair, one slow step at a time, your hands trailing along the smooth, dark banister, the wood cool and solid beneath your palm. The rain outside follows you, the warmth of the library follows you, the smell of old paper and distant wood smoke follows you, softening with every step, becoming less distinct, blending into the general warmth of the building, the deep old smell of a place that has been inhabited for a very long time by people who were quiet and fond of reading and did not require anything very exciting of their evenings. The room at the top of the stair is small. There is one window and the rain against it is the first thing you notice. Softer up here than it was below. More intimate, as if the rain knows you are nearby and is being careful not to disturb you. The curtains are thick, the colour of deep water, and they are almost but not quite closed, leaving a narrow gap through which you can see the faintest suggestion of sky. Dark blue going darker, no moon visible, but a general softness of light that suggests one somewhere above the clouds, diffused and patient. The bed is narrow and high, with a quilt that has been washed so many times it is more soft than any new thing could ever be. The kind of softness that takes years to develop, the kind that only comes from long use and long care. It is folded back just enough. The pillow is cool on one side and slightly warm on the other, and you can choose which side you prefer, and either one is exactly right. You lie down. The rain comes closer, or you come closer to the rain, and the difference is no longer important. The sounds of the library below are very faint now, only the slightest sense of warmth and age and the smell of paper rising up through old floors, through old walls, through the wood and the stone of a building
building that has stood in the rain for a very long time and does not mind it in the least. Your breathing has slowed. You can feel it without thinking about it. That long, unhurried rhythm that your body finds on its own when you stop asking it to do anything. In and out, slow and even, and entirely effortless. The quilt settles around you with its old soft weight. The rain keeps falling. It will fall all night. Over the library and its sleeping books. Over the cobblestones below, over the dark gardens where the roses have folded themselves inward and the lavender stands perfectly still, and the moss on the old stone walls drinks in the water quietly and completely, over the river, somewhere beyond the rooftops, where the surface is dimpled with 1,000 small circles, each one appearing and spreading and disappearing, endlessly, without urgency. Everything is resting. The books on their shelves, the cat in its warmth, the fire in its slow settling, the cobblestones in their gleaming, the garden in its quiet drinking of rain. And you are resting too, softly, without effort, in this small warm room above the old library, where the rain speaks its low and constant language against the glass. Let the words go, if there are any left. Let the images soften at their edges. The library, the fire, the cat, the narrow stair, the old quilt, the rain. Let them blur and blend and become less distinct, the way things do at the very edge of sleep, when the mind stops holding shapes and lets them simply be whatever they are, warm and dark and close and dissolving. You're very nearly there. The rain says so. The darkness says so. The old building around you says so, in its language of settling and warmth and the patient turning of years. There is nothing else now, only the rain on the glass, only the dark, only the soft weight of the quilt and the slow tide of your breathing, and the vast, generous quiet of a night that has room for everything and asks for nothing. Only rest, only this, only sleep. The rain is still there. It has not stopped, and it will not stop. And that is the most comforting thing in the world right now. Just the rain. Just the glass. Just the steady, patient conversation between water and window that has been going on all night without needing anything from you at all. Perhaps you drifted for a moment. Perhaps you are drifting still. It is very hard to tell at this hour in this room with the quilt this warm and the rain this close. The edges of things have gone soft. The ceiling above you, if you were to open your eyes, which you will not, is only a gentle dark. The walls of the room are only a suggestion. The whole building beneath you is breathing slowly, the way old buildings do in rain, settling and sighing and pulling the warmth deeper into its walls. You are part of that warmth now. You have been absorbed into it, the way that tea absorbs into old china, the way that firelight absorbs into old wood, the way that everything eventually finds its way into the deep quiet that was always waiting underneath. Just breathe. That is the only thing. Just breathe and let the rain do everything else. There is a garden below the window. You can't see it in the dark, but you know it is there, the way you know things in dreams, without evidence, without looking, simply knowing. It is an old garden, walled and overgrown, the kind that has been left to its own devices for long enough that it has become something richer and stranger and more beautiful than any planned
The roses in this garden are old roses, the kind with very full flowers that open almost flat in warm weather, their petals layered and layered and layered like the pages of something beautiful. Tonight they are closed. They closed hours ago, folding inwards slowly the way they always do when the light goes, drawing their petals together with a patience that has nothing hurried in it. Nothing reluctant. They are simply resting. They will open again when the time comes. Tonight the time for opening has passed, and the time for resting is here, and they know this without being told. Trees in the far corner of the garden hold the rain in the cups of their leaves. When the wind moves, which it does only occasionally and very gently, a shower of smaller drops falls from the branches onto the grass below, a sound like a very soft and brief applause, and then stillness again. The grass is very wet. It shines, in whatever faint light there is, like dark silk laid flat on the ground. A moth is resting on the stone wall near the garden door. Its wings are closed, pressed flat against the old stone. Its colours exactly the colour of stone, grey and soft and almost invisible. It does not move. It has found its resting place for the night, and it is content to stay there while the rain falls around it, and the garden breathes its dark green breath, and the hours pass without hurry. Far away, not too far, there is the sound of a clock. Not an alarm, nothing sharp or urgent, only the low, round, unhurried sound of an old clock marking the hour somewhere in the building below, its tone warm and resonant, fading into the walls almost before it has fully arrived. It does
does not tell you what hour it is. It only tells you that the night is continuing, that the hours are moving forward the way they always do, gently and without exception, carrying you with them toward the soft grey of an early morning that is still a long, long way from here. Between you and that morning there is only rest, a great deal of rest, more than you need perhaps, but that is fine. You can take all of it. You can sink into as much of it as you like. The night will not run out. The dark will not run out. The rain will keep the world outside soft and muffled and distant and kind. Let the clock's tone go. It is already faded. The rain has already covered it over. There is only the rain again, which is all there ever really needed to be. Somewhere in the old building, a door is ajar. A very small draught moves through the gap. Not cold, only cool. Only the particular coolness of a hallway that has been dark for hours, that holds the memory of the day's warmth without quite having it anymore. The draught moves along the floor of the corridor below, finds the gap at the bottom of your door, and slips through, carrying with it the faintest scent of the library downstairs, old paper and cold ash, and the ghost of something that was burning sweetly hours ago in the hearth, and is only an ember now, deeply buried. You breathe it in without noticing. Your body takes it in the way it takes everything in at this hour, without effort, without analysis, simply receiving it the way earth receives rain, the way old stone receives warmth, the way sleep receives everything you have been carrying all day and holds it quietly so you do not have to. The curtains at your window shift very slightly. A breath of air from somewhere, from the gap in the glass that has been there for years and will be there for years more, moves the thick fabric just enough to suggest it, and then it is still again. The narrow gap between the curtains shows the same soft dark it always showed, the same suggestion of sky, the same patience. Everything in this room is patient. The furniture has been patient for decades. The floorboards beneath their thin rug have been patient for longer than that. The walls are patient, and the ceiling is patient, and the rain against the window is the most patient thing of all, falling and asking for nothing, not even to be heard, not even to be noticed, simply present in the dark, simply soft, simply there. You are so close to sleep now, or perhaps sleep is so close to you. It has been drawing nearer this whole time, the way night draws nearer at dusk, not suddenly, not with any announcement, only a gradual deepening of the dark, a gradual softening of the edges, a gradual release of everything that was held tightly into something much more open and much more still. hands are completely still. Your face has relaxed in ways you were not aware it was holding. Your breathing is very slow, very even, entirely its own, no longer something you are doing, but something that is simply happening, the way the rain is simply happening, the way the dark is simply happening, effortless and continuous and kind. story below is entirely quiet. The fire is nothing but warmth now. No light, no sound, only the deep stored heat of a hearth that burned well all evening and is now giving its last warmth slowly and without drama back into the room. The cat has not moved. The books have not moved. The rain-blurred windows hold their soft, dark blur, and the cobblestones below hold their wet gleam, and the garden holds its sleeping roses, and its wet grass, and its moth on the stone wall, all of it held, all of it resting, all of it simply being what it is in the generous dark. There is a sound, very distant, that might be the river. It might be the wind in the linden trees along the road outside, or it might be the rain on a roof somewhere below your level, or it might be nothing at all, only the sound the mind makes when it is very nearly finished with the night's last thoughts, and is letting them go one by one like boats released from a harbour, drifting out on the dark water, growing smaller, becoming just shapes, becoming just suggestions, becoming nothing at all except the vast and quiet water they are moving on. Let them go, every last one. The thoughts about tomorrow, the thoughts about today, the thoughts that were not really thoughts at all but only feelings without names, the small anxieties and small unfinished things that have been waiting patiently at the edges of your mind all evening. Let them drift. The water will take them. The dark will receive them. They will all be there in the morning if you need them, rested and smaller and much more manageable in the light. But you do not need them tonight. Tonight there is only this room, and this rain, and this warmth, and this breathing that has become so slow and so easy that it is no longer something you can feel separately from the rest of you. It has simply become part of being here, part of being still, part of being held by the night in the particular way the night holds things that have finally let themselves be held. The rain settles into something even softer now, not less, only softer, as though the sky above has grown tired too, and is letting the water fall with less effort, with less weight, with the particular lightness of something doing what it does from pure habit, from long practice, from a kind of effortless knowing that needs no attention and no intention. Just rain. Just the sound that rain makes on old glass when everything is quiet enough to hear it clearly. You hear it clearly. You've been hearing it all this time, underneath everything, underneath the thoughts and the images and the slow wandering of the story through its gardens and its libraries and its rooms. It was always there. It will still be there when you are fully asleep, and in some part of you that remains gently aware, even in sleep you will keep hearing it, soft and steady and unchanged, and it will keep the night exactly as it is, warm and safe and raining, all the long hours until morning. Sleep now, not as a command, only as an observation, as a noticing. You are already most of the way there. The distance between where you are and where you are going has become so small that the crossing no longer requires any effort at all. Only the rain, only the dark, only the slow and generous breathing of the old building around you, and the sleeping garden below, and the patient books on their shelves, and the warmth of the quilt settling itself more completely around you with every breath, and the soft, insistent kindness of a night that has nothing it needs from you, that only wants to hold you while you rest. Let it hold you. You have been held before by things this gentle. You know how to receive it. Let your weight go completely. Let the last of the day go completely. Let everything that is not this moment, and this warmth and this rain go completely, and simply be here, and simply be still, and simply be. The rain will take care of the rest, and it does. It always has. Long before this night, long before this room, long before you were here to hear it, the rain was falling on old rooftops and old gardens and old stone walls, taking care of everything that needed taking care of, which is to say everything, which is to say the whole soft world, quietly and without being asked. You do not need to do anything else tonight. You have already done everything. You breathed in and out. You let the thoughts go. You let the day go. You arrived here in this warmth, in this quiet, and that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything that was ever required of you at this hour, and you have done it perfectly without even trying. The way the rose closes perfectly at the end of the day without trying. The way the river finds the sea without trying. The way sleep finds you now without any effort on either side, simply and completely and without a sound. There is a quality to the dark now that is different from before, softer perhaps, or more complete. The kind of dark that has settled fully into itself, that is no longer becoming dark, but simply is dark, entirely and without remainder. The ceiling above you, the walls around you, the floor below, all of it dissolved into the same warm nothing, the same gentle everywhere that is the colour of rest, the texture of rest, the smell of rest. and smell and sound reduced to their most essential and most comforting forms. The impression of warmth, the impression of rain, the impression of a room that has held many people gently over many years and knows exactly how to do it and does it now for you without effort, without even noticing. The way very practiced kindness becomes indistinguishable from nature. Somewhere, a long way away, a bird makes a single sound, not a morning bird, something smaller and more private, something that sings only for itself in the middle of the night for reasons that have nothing to do with dawn or territory or anything practical at all. One small sound, clear and brief, swallowed almost immediately by the rain, and then silence, and then only the rain again, which had never really stopped. You heard it without hearing it. It passed through you the way water passes through old cloth, leaving only the faintest trace of itself, barely a memory, barely a ripple, the kind of thing that becomes part of a dream without becoming the dream itself. That is where you are now, in that borderland, in that particular soft country that lies between the world that is made of things and the world that is made of everything else. You have been here before. You come here every night through a different door each time, down a different corridor, but always arriving in the same country, always recognizing it the moment you cross over. It smells like this. It feels like this. Like warmth without a source. Like sound without a location. Like being held without being able to identify what is doing the holding. Something is doing the holding. It always has been. Whatever it is very old and very gentle, and it knows you. The way the old chair by the fire knows the shape of a person. The way the worn step on the narrow stair knows the weight of a foot. The way the quilt knows the particular warmth of the body it has kept warm 100 times before. It knows you, and it has you, and you can let go of the last thing, whatever the last thing is. The last small thread of the day still running between your fingers, without you being quite aware of it. Let it go now. Feel it leave. Feel the hand open. Feel the thread drift away into the dark, where it will wait patiently, small and harmless, for morning. The rain has become something you're no longer hearing so much as feeling. A vibration perhaps, or a texture in the air, or simply a quality of the night itself. The particular richness of a night that is wet and dark and fully itself. It has moved inside the silence rather than sitting on top of it. The two things have become one thing, rain and quiet, inseparable now, each one making the other more complete. Your breathing has become part of it too, in and out, slow and without any thought behind it. Simply the body doing what the body has always known to do finally stops standing in its way. It does not need your help. It never did. It only needed you to be still enough to let it work, and you are still enough now. You are more still than you have been all day. You are the stillness at the centre of everything, around which the rain moves in its long, soft circles, around which the dark arranges itself with great care. This is what rest feels like when it is complete, not the absence of things, not emptiness, something much fuller than that, a fullness that has no weight, a richness that asks for nothing, a warmth that comes from everywhere at once and nowhere in particular, and has been here the whole time, waiting for exactly this moment, waiting for you to be exactly this still. The small room holds you. The old building holds the small room. The rain holds the old building in its soft grey surround. The night holds the rain, and something larger than all of it holds the night, the way the sea holds everything that floats on it with a patience that has no beginning and no end and no particular feeling about it either way. Only the simple fact of holding, which is the oldest fact there is. You are held all the way down. There is nothing beneath you that is not holding you. There is nothing above you that is not soft. There is nothing beside you that is not quiet. You are at the centre of a great gentleness that extends in every direction as far as anything extends, and it is not going anywhere. And you are not going anywhere. And the only thing left to do is the thing you are already doing. Let the words go now. These words too. Let them soften and separate and float away like petals in slow water, like smoke from a fire that has finally gone out. Like the last note of a cello held so long, it has dissolved entirely into the air of the room and become part of the room. Part of the warmth, part of the night. There are no more images. The garden has gone dark. The library is sleeping. The river is only a sound, and the sound is only a feeling, and the feeling is only warmth, and warmth is only this weight, this quilt, this breath, this rain, this breath, this rain, only this. The night is very full and very still, and it has you softly and completely, and the rain on the glass says, rest, 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 the way it has been saying it all along, the way it will say